Kimani's injury is the first quarter at Albion. They're going towards the scoreboard. He comes up to make a routine defensive play. Looks pretty normal. After the play's over, I see him sitting on the ground. It looked like he was stretching because he had a cramp. That's what it looked like.
I went to tackle somebody, and our knees collided, and I just collapsed.
Well, then when our trainer went out there, Tim Caberta, and then he walked off, and I saw how much pain he was in, and then as a coach, that's that pit in your stomach.
And I remember feeling something pop, and I was just thinking to myself, like, no, this can't be real. And because I remember earlier that week, we have a meeting on Tuesday, the defense, and Coach Ricketts was telling us, like, it could all end now. Like, you never know when it's your last time stepping on the field. And I was just thinking, like, I'm a junior. That don't apply to me. I'm not gonna get hurt. And I ended up getting hurt that game, the week he told us that. And it was just depressing. You know, went through a lot of pain. And I remember when I got carried off to the sideline, Tim told me I tore my PCL. And
you so want it not to be Kimani, certainly because of his athletic ability and his presence on the field and his ability to be a part of our team, but there's always part of you that says his story doesn't need this. His life doesn't need this right now.
Was always a quiet kid, say very introverted, and get more so that way when his mom died.
I remember the day of, the night before, I remember we were eating tacos, and we played a game called Life. It was me, my brother, and my two uncles, which were her two brothers that she, like, they had the same mom, and they were living with us too. They were about 15 or 16. We were playing Life, us four, and I remember she was on the phone, and I fell asleep on the floor in the living room playing the game. And I remember waking up that morning, and I know we had to be to school at 8:30. And I remember, it's like, as soon as I opened my eyes, because I fell asleep on the floor, I seen we had Comcast cable, and on the box it said 8:03. It was 8:03 exactly. And I remember, like, why she didn't, like, wake us up. And I didn't know why she didn't wake us up, so I was thinking, like, I didn't want to go to school, so I went back to sleep. And I want to say about 30 minutes later, I hear my uncle running in the front room, and he just was like, get up, get up. There's like something wrong with Wanda, and I wasn't like, it didn't like hit me until he like, Wanda's dead. And I'm like, what? So we all got up, ran in the back, and I remember seeing her body laying on the bed, like hanging over the bed, and like blood dripping from her mouth. And she was dead.
He totally just turned off to everybody pretty much. His dad went and got him, brought him over to his house, and attempted to raise him.
I had to move with my dad. We was like, me and my brother were forced to, because like he was our dad, and the court said we had to.
But he was not really open to that at all, because he hadn't been seeing him, you know, while he was, from the time he was born to 9. It seemed sometime that it would bring him over to the house, sometime over my house.
Before my mom passed, my dad wasn't in my life. I would see him probably once every 3 months.
I get a call one night from Grandma, which is Dad's mother, saying, Mike, come get Kimani. I don't know what this is about. Before I could even leave out my house, I get a call from his uncle, who lives in New Jersey, telling me, go get Kimani. Now I know this is serious. They both called me and tell me, come get Kimani. I don't know what's happened. So I go over to the house, and she tells me, well, his dad had choked him.
When a kid has two parents and one of them is deceased, the state provides Social Security, and the single parent gets that Social Security, but once the kid turns 16, he's eligible to get the Social Security itself if things are not going well with the parent. I moved out with my Uncle Mike for about 3 months, and I saved up the Social Security checks because he let me keep it for myself. And then when I saved up enough, I decided to get an apartment with one of my older brothers. He was 20 at the time, and we actually split the pay. And took my younger brother in with us. It was a good experience because it taught me a lot. It taught me to become a man, and I had to do stuff for myself.
Sports pretty much saved him. That gave him an outlet, something to do, because he played basketball, football, and ran track. So he's always busy. And that really kept his mind off his dad and the situation he was in.
I remember getting my first football letter from a college, and it said Hope. I didn't know what Hope was, where it was. I didn't even know it was a school. And I would just open the letters. I would get about 3 or 4 a month. And finally, Coach Ricketts, he called me, and he asked me, like, what did I plan on doing after high school? And I didn't know. I wasn't thinking about college.
Well, Kimani got connected with Kimani through his high school coach. Attended a recruiting fair over in outside of Detroit, one of the high schools over there, and he said, "Hey, I got a couple players," and he mentioned Kimani, and he said kind of an unusual situation for a high school kid, but is a good student and is committed from an academic standpoint, and is also a very good athlete.
So we took a trip up to Hope, and we went to Olivet, I think one more school. For some reason, he really liked Hope, and I liked Hope.
It took a little bit before we got him on campus, but he came and visited and did the application and did everything and followed through, did financial aid forms and got that all done. And so we went through the process. Communicating with Kimani was always pretty short and to the point and moving on. And then financial aid, all that stuff worked out, and then he got his package, and he said, "I'm coming."
My first impression of Hope was very white. It was, different. Like, it didn't seem like I would fit in.
I would say it started off a little rough for him at Hope College, actually. He didn't really find a big group to hang out with.
Kind of felt his way through and connected with just a few guys along the way, and he kind of had a small group.
Yeah, it was very different. Like being like one of the only black people in every class, like one of 9 black people on the football team out of 150. That was hard. I noticed the first day of every class, I didn't know many people unless it was a football player, but if I did know a football player, I would sit by myself, and I noticed the seats next to me would fill up. They would be the last seats to fill up in the classes. And I remember having group projects or like group assignments with like some other white students, and they wouldn't talk to me at all. They would just do the work themselves. Yeah, it was very hard. It didn't make me feel welcome here. It made me feel like stand out. Yeah. It didn't feel good. I wasn't comfortable. I felt I would be more comfortable back home, where I would go to class with people sort of like me.
I was aware of him thinking about transferring, and when I found out, I was actually pretty sad.
Kimani had a tough fall, I think, and not so much from a physical standpoint, just a tough from a personal and trying to find his niche and at the college, and it was tough on him. Kimani had a decision in mind, and he felt was going to be best for him. And at the point, he wasn't totally happy, so he had to find what was going to make him happy. If that was it, that was it.
I decided to transfer out, and once I left, I realized I made the mistake. It all hit me at once. I lost a lot of credits, and I was surrounded by trouble. I wasn't doing the right thing. I was skipping class because it got out that if you're a football player there, you don't have to go to class. Teachers they just pass you just because you're a football player.
He got there and found out that it was not the better place for him, that maybe things are pretty good where they were at. And he came back and he just felt more, it seemed like he just felt more at ease with himself and also with the college and his teammates and everything, and was just, I guess, at the point that, this is pretty good. I can make this work and I can benefit from it, but also I can help contribute to things.
We talked about it a little bit, and he's happy he's back. I'm happy too, but he really appreciates what he's got going here.
He's a lot more
Years of age. And I think he every day wakes up and says, hey, that's my story. Though I don't share it very much, that propels him each and every day. And to me, that is the definition of courage. Regardless of what your circumstances, regardless of what things have been done around you or to you or for you or what have you, that you take those circumstances and say, that's going to be a part of who I am. It won't necessarily define who I am, but it's going to be a part of who I am, and help to continue to tell that story.
Courage is the ability to overcome and not letting hard times knock you off your path.